Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Banter with Brooke. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I am your host, Brooke Pullis, and today's episode is going to be a crazy one, so buckle up and stay tuned. This episode, I'm going to be telling you guys crazy stories that I've experienced, and let me just tell you, there is so many. So way down the line, I'm definitely going to be making a part two because the most out of pocket shit has happened to me. Also, surprise, I have my Christmas set up. I hope you guys like it. Have my little garland, this bear, the mare from Nightmare Before Christmas, my little reindeer thing. I made this purple thing. It says, "Let's be jolly." There's little snowmen right there. And yeah, this is going to be my set for the holiday season. And so let's just get into the first story I have for you guys. So I have some written down. The first one I have, I don't remember the year. It was probably 2018. And me and my family, and we had family visiting from out of town. We were driving home from where we were that day, and we were on the highway, and there was a lot of traffic, and we were like, what the hell? And like all of a sudden we see a pile. There's like a pile of someone's like shirt and like a hat, and we're like, okay. And then we keep inching up. Like 10 minutes go by or something, and we're slowly moving. We see another pile, and it's like a phone, somebody's pants, and like shoes or something. And I'm not even kidding you. Like 5 minutes later, a man is running in between the cars, butt ass naked. Literally, junk hanging out, butt naked, running through the cars. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then all of a sudden, he plops down in somebody's yard. Like, it wasn't like a main highway, like 4 lane. It was like 2 or 3 lanes. And there was like somebody's house, and literally he was laying in the grass, just on his back, looking up, just butt naked. And we could hear sirens coming. So Mans was about to get in trouble, but I don't know if he was on drugs or what his deal was, but something. And I saw a man like butt ass naked running in the street. So if that isn't a crazy first story to tell you guys, then I don't know what is. And also, that in that moment, I was also like bawling my eyes out almost because of how badly I had to pee. But, we were stuck in traffic, so I couldn't pee. And I was literally like, Mom, I'm going to pee in this car. Like, I'm going to pee my pants in the seat. She's like, Brooke, no, do not. And I ended up being able to find a bathroom, luckily. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys, if you can hear my text I just got. So yeah, I eventually finally was able to use a bathroom, but that was a whole nother thing. It was this random shop. I was like, I need the bathroom. We get into the bathroom. They're like, it's downstairs. I go down some stairs. Tell me why the bathroom door has a code on it. And they didn't tell me. I ran the fuck back upstairs. I was like, I need a code. Whatever, made it. It was the best pee in my life. But that was the first story of how there was a guy streaking in the middle of the highway. The next story I have happened to me very recently, probably about a month or two ago. And I was walking in this town with my mom. There was like a little downtown area, some cute shops. I got this actually when we were there, this permanent bracelet on my wrist. And anyway, I'm just walking with my mom down the street, minding my own business. And a man yells out his car window to me. And he goes, "You look like a fat slut," and kept driving. Like, what? Oh my God. The craziest thing is, first of all, don't slut shame regardless. I don't care if I was literally half naked. Do not call me a slut. But I literally was wearing like pants that covered everything and a tank top because it was summer. Like I'm wearing a fucking tank top. I'm like, he was just mad that my ass was fat and I couldn't help it because what do you mean? And okay, a lot of these stories, and I don't want you guys to feel bad for me, but a lot of them are like fat shaming stories, and it's okay. I mean, younger me was really actually affected by them, but I am like so secure with myself now that like I just know that those people were miserable. And that's not a me problem, and I like they're just dumb. But so yeah, some random guy I didn't know had the audacity to look out his car window at me and call me a fat slut. And me and my mom look at each other because it like took a minute to process what he just said. And we were like, what the fuck? She was more mad than I was. Luckily, this happened to a month ago me and not fucking like 15-year-old me because that would have ruined my whole week. But my mom, we went into a coffee shop right after that. My mom's like telling the barista at the coffee shop, like, you will not believe what just happened. Like, can you believe that? I'm like, Mom, she doesn't care. Don't worry about that. Okay. Next story is this happened to me in high school. I think I was a freshman in high school. I was a freshman in high school. And the person I'm talking about, also, if I'm talking about you in any of these stories and you're watching this for whatever reason, you, why, whatever, just fuck you. Okay, not fuck you, but like, why would you do that? Okay. So I was in Spanish class my freshman year of high school. And my freshman year of high school, I also did track and field. I did shot put and discus. And they had the morning announcements going on. And they were talking about all the sport events that were happening. And they were like, oh, there's a track meet at so and so, whatever. And our table was like pods. Like there was like 4 desks set up in a square and this guy was at the same pod as me. And I was like, oh, guys, wish me luck because they said I had a track meet. Again, with the audacity, this kid goes, I was like, oh, wish me luck. He goes, for what? An eating contest? Excuse me? And the craziest thing about that is I had a crush on this kid at the time. And he said that to me. And I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like that is the most out of pocket shit ever. Ever, ever, ever. And that like ruined my crush on him. Actually, he said another thing. If you're watching this, I do forgive you for that, but I just think it's a funny story and I need to tell it. So like I don't want you thinking I like think about this daily because I don't. I actually could care less, but it's a funny story, so I need to tell it. But the same kid, the same year, we also had math together. And so we were in math and I felt so cute this day, you guys. I did my hair, I did my makeup, like I put a nice outfit on. Usually I would just wear like sweatpants or something, but I really was feeling cute. And he looks at me dead in the face and goes, Brooke, you're wearing way too much makeup today. Okay, great. So I just tried and put all this effort in for no fucking reason. Crazy. So yeah, my crush on him ended pretty quickly because I was like, this guy's a fucking prick. Um, and me and him became friends after that. Like we don't talk really anymore, but me and him were friends after that. Like I don't hold it against him. Like I said, if you're watching this, don't feel bad, but my crush on you, I actually don't even think you ever knew I had a crush on you. So if you're watching this, I had a crush on you freshman year and you ruined it by being a prick. So anyway, the next story, I was young. I was very young. I was probably 9 years old. That's just a guess. I'm not sure. And I was at the eye doctor. And this girl who lived down the street from me was also at the eye doctor. And my mom, me, my brother, and sister all had eye doctor appointments this day. And so my mom and my brother were in the waiting or were in the exam rooms, like getting their eyes checked. And me and my sister were in the waiting room waiting for our turn. And my neighbor who lives down the street and her mom come out, and she's sitting in the waiting room after her appointment. And we're just talking like, oh, hi, how are you? Whatever, just making small talk like neighbors do. And then all of a sudden she smacks her head against the wall. Or no, first she's like, Mom, I don't really feel that good. And her mom's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't know, I feel like kind of like queasy. I don't know. And she smacks her head back against the wall. And I was like, I'm not going to say her name. I'm just going to say Emily. And I was like, oh, Emily, didn't that hurt? And she doesn't respond to me. And she literally, like she hit her head hard against the wall. Oh, didn't that hurt? Doesn't respond. Starts having a full blown seizure right there in the middle of the eye doctor. When I tell you, it's a lot better now, but I still have pretty bad like health anxiety. Like I just always am worried. I want to be as healthy as I can. Literally, I kid you not, she started seizing, and little me had terrible health anxiety every time anything bad happened ever. Anytime someone coughed around me, anytime someone said their stomach hurt, was going to throw up, anything around me, I literally like thought it was going to happen to me. And oh my gosh, and my mom wasn't there. Like I said, she was in the exam room. So I'm like freaking the fuck out. I like go outside. There's like a random tree outside of the eye doctor, and I literally remember like going in the tree and like climbing and sitting there, and like the ambulance came and everything. I just remember, but oh my gosh, it was pretty scary, especially for being 9 years old, just seeing someone have a seizure right in front of you. Not only that, I knew her. Like I said, she was my neighbor. So I was like, oh my God, like, is she okay? That was just crazy. And I will never forget that. I can picture it. And like, obviously, I later found out that was like her first time. Like she's never like had a seizure before. So like, I just remember like her mom was there freaking out too. And it was terrifying. And I remember like that like I was like panicked for like the next couple of days. I like was only thinking about that. But that was a crazy story of how I saw someone have a seizure at the eye doctor. Oh my gosh, this next one is crazy as fuck too. All of these basically, do not fat shame. That's the moral of this story. Actually, don't body shame, period. Don't fat shame, don't skinny shame, don't shame somebody for their acne. Just keep your fucking opinions to yourself about other people's bodies. Nobody wants your opinion, nobody asks for your opinion. Just shut up. You know what I mean? Like, people who body shame are so annoying, like, and rude. Like, who are you? No one cares about you. So, this happened to me on my 16th birthday party. Yes, this happened on my birthday. So, I had a birthday party at my house, had a lot of my friends there, and this guy I went to middle school with, no, elementary school with, he moved away in middle school. He moved away in 7th grade. And then, so like I said, this was my 16th birthday. So it had been a couple years since I've seen him. And some of my other friends that were coming to my birthday party, we're going to call this kid Jackson. Okay. They were like, oh, Jackson's in town. Do you want him, or like, can he come over? He wants to say hi to you and wants to tell you happy birthday. I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a long time. Haven't seen him. Sure. Jackson can come. So we're hanging out. And I mentioned in another one of my podcasts that I'm on a weight loss journey currently. And I'm going to do a whole episode about that, like my weight journey and all my issues. But this time it was my sophomore year, summer going into junior year. But I was a sophomore, and from 8th grade to sophomore year, I had gained like 100 pounds. I just had like a lot of health stuff going on and didn't know what's going on. But so I was at my heaviest weight at this point. So anyway, we're at my birthday having a good time. And this kid, for context, I'm not body shaming him at all. I just need you guys to understand because it makes sense why he said what he said. This kid was a bigger kid in like middle school and stuff. Like he was like a very big kid. And so, like I said, this was the heaviest I'd ever weighed. And in front of everyone, we're in my backyard having like a little bonfire. We're all talking, having fun. He says in front of everybody, "So, Brooke, I see you're starting to look like me now." Like telling me I'm fat. And when I tell you, I literally went inside and started crying. I like ran inside because why would you say that in front of everybody? Why would you say that, period? And three, on my birthday? Like, you're a fucking weirdo. Also, he literally texted me like a couple years later. I remember getting a Snapchat from him and he's like, "Sorry about calling you fat on your birthday." And I literally think I left him unopened because like that was so out of pocket. I have not seen you since like 6th or 7th grade. And one of the first things you say to me is that crazy. But shout out to the friends that actually invited him because as soon as he said that, they literally like kicked him out. They're like, "Jackson, you got to go." So shout out to you guys for that. But yeah, I got called fat on my birthday. So awesome and fun, right? Yes. Okay. Next story. This happened to me literally like last month, like so recently. And I was driving with my mom and my friend. And for some reason, recently, people have been just mad at me while driving. I don't know why. I'm literally going the speed limit. I'm not doing anything. And my mom is a backseat driver. Like she would tell me, like she's the first to say, "Don't do this, don't do this." And she was in the car and she even like I wasn't doing anything wrong, literally. And this guy is on my ass, like so close to me. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like I am going the speed limit. And he honks at me and I like look in my mirror and he like saying something. I honestly forgot what he said, but he's like, "Oh, like don't turn, like don't." Okay, so he was going. I was turning out of my neighborhood, and he was way far away. So I like he had to have like sped up behind me on purpose because there was so much time for me to go. And like obviously, when you first make a turn, you're not gonna. The speed limit is 45 on the road. When you first make a turn, you're not gonna turn and instantly go 45 fucking miles per hour. No, you have to step on the gas and you start to go. And that's what I was doing. But he didn't want to fucking slow down at all, even though he was way far back. So I know he was speeding. He comes up on me. He's like, "Don't pull out in front of somebody if you're not going to go the speed limit," which I literally was going the speed limit. Anyway, we're driving for a couple, like a little bit longer. He's still on my ass the whole time. We get to a light and he goes into the right lane to turn right and I'm going straight. He literally rolls down his window. I roll down mine. He's like, "Learn how to drive." He's like, "I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to teach you how to drive." First of all, what do you mean you're not my daddy? Like, that's the weirdest fucking shit to say. Why would you ever say that? That was so. He literally said, "I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to teach you how to drive." Good. I'm glad you're not my fucking dad. I don't need you to teach me how to drive. I don't want you to teach me how to drive. Shut the fuck up. And I was like, I want to flip him off. Like before this happened, I was like, I want to flip him off. My mom's like, "No, like be nice." Like, or you don't know, there's crazy people on the road. As soon as he rolled his window down and started going off on me, my mom literally started screaming at this guy. She's like, "Fuck you, you learn how to drive." And I'm fucking yelling at him too. And I'm like, because why do you say I'm not your daddy? Like, ew, what? Like that was just so weird. He's like, "You need to learn how to drive." And then he like drove off. I'm like, "You need to go outside and touch some grass, sir, because I was the one going the speed limit and you were just mad that I wasn't going fast enough for you. So how about you take your little truck and go away?" But it was just funny because my mom is like no, there's crazy people on the road. And then she doesn't play when it comes to her kids. Let me just tell you that. So we're both just, and my mom was in the back only because I was already with my friend. So like it just didn't make sense for her to like get out and like switch. So my mom just got in the back. It wasn't a big deal. And I'm like yelling over my friend, like in the front seat, and my mom's in the back. And we're both just like, fuck you, you learn how to drive, like yelling at this man. And then we went our separate ways. But it was very funny. And I feel like so many people, like I said, have been just like weird or like honking at me. And I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But that happened. And that man is a fucking prick. He's definitely not watching this. But if you are, be nice. And I hope you had a great rest of your day because you seemed a little angry. And I hope you're happy in life. Next thing is a story from elementary school. And I also want to do a whole separate podcast episode of school stories and experiences because I feel like that just can be a whole thing in itself. So many things happened at school. But this one, so my elementary school there was 4 buses, A, B, C, and D. And I was on bus C, and they were obviously separated by like neighborhoods. Like these certain neighborhoods were bus A, bus B, and so on and so forth. So I was on bus C, like I said, and all of the buses were crowded. There was about like 300 something kids in my school, which it's a pretty small school. It was kindergarten through 8th grade, and there was only like it was like almost 400 kids, so it was pretty small for all those grades. But anyway, there was only 4 buses for all those kids. So there were times, multiple times throughout my time at that school where the bus would be like way over capacity, literally like 3 to 4 kids to a seat, and they'd have to pull over and wait for another bus to come and let some kids onto that because it was just way too crowded. And like the bus has a capacity, like you're not supposed to drive the bus with a certain amount of people on it. So that was just some background, just so you know, like this bus had a lot of kids on it. Okay. So it was one morning, and my mom is a single mom and she works full time. So we were bus kids. Me and my brother and sister, we always had to take the bus growing up. So we got on the bus and we're just driving. And this bus driver was very nice. I did like her, but she was a little bit cuckoo. Not even cuckoo, but she just like didn't know what she was doing. I feel like a lot of the time, like she would miss turns every so often and just like whatever. But this day in particular, she's picking us up. She finishes picking everyone up, and there is a bus full of kids, and we're not quiet either. Like we're talking, the kids are talking, everything. So now she's on this road heading to go to our school, and you turn right to go to school. Okay. So she's going, misses the turn and keeps going. And we're like, okay, maybe she just missed the turn. She's going to realize soon, right? She drives. If you keep going straight down the road that I'm talking about, like if you don't turn to go to the school and you keep going, there is a bus place, like where they store all the buses. She drives into the bus place, and we're all like looking at each other like, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm so confused. She eventually just like realizes, she turns around and like gets up, and she literally goes, sorry guys, I forgot you were on here. You forgot we were on there? Like, how do you just forget about a busload of yelling kids? Either she was high or she actually just had something wrong. I don't know, because like, what do you mean you forgot we were on the bus? She forgot we were on the bus. Girl, that is your one job, to bring us to school. So anyway, she turns out of the bus place. She gets us to school, but it was just crazy because I'm like, what do you mean? You forgot we were on the bus. She missed the turn and brought us all the way back to the bus place. She thought she was done for the morning. Girl, you didn't even do your one thing you had to do, which was drop us off at school. So that was a crazy thing. I remember all of us on the bus were like so confused, like, where the hell is she going? And we were probably late to school that day, to be honest. But yeah, so that was crazy. Next one is a pretty short story. I just remember, I don't remember all the details because this one happened to me when I was like really, really young. But I remember going out, I was out to eat with my family, my mom and brother and sister, and everyone else went to the bathroom. My mom's like, okay, stay here, like stay at the table. So I'm sitting there at the table while my family is in the bathroom. And these two drunk people, I think one was a woman, one was a man, come up to me at the table. I'm sitting there by myself. They're like, hi, what's your name? Like being so fucking creepy. I wish I could remember more of what they were talking to me, but I just was this little girl sitting at the table and these people literally coming up to me like, hi, how are you? What's your name? Like, are you trying to kidnap me right now? I remember just getting up and running to the bathroom. I literally ran. I was like, Mom, there's people trying to talk to me. That was one good thing she taught us about stranger danger because what, like, why were they trying to talk to me? I was literally like fucking 6 or something. Like, weird, weird, weird behavior. Don't talk to kids. Obviously, if like the parents there and you're like, oh, your daughter's so cute, whatever, that's a whole other thing. I'm sitting there by myself. Don't approach me and ask me weird questions and tell me, oh, you're so cute. What's your name? And like try and talk to me. Like, get away. I'm scared. Okay. Next one is this is also a story that happened to me in high school, which I have way more, but I need to tell this one because this one is pretty crazy. So, me and my best friend were, we took a class in high school. There is a preschool attached or like inside of my high school. So, high schoolers could take the class and help teach the preschoolers. So, I was in that class. In this particular day, we were going on a field trip in with the preschoolers to the movie theater and we were going to see a movie. And so we walk or so there's a bathroom. So here's a bathroom and then this is the hallway and then at the end the other end of the hallway is the classroom. So we're going to the bathroom and these two girls are literally staring at me and my friend, like glaring, like giving us a dirty look. And so we walk into the bathroom, they're standing there giving us a dirty look. And me and my friend both go in the big stall together and we're talking like while they're still in the bathroom. So kind of petty of us, but like whatever. And I'm like, why the hell did she just give me that look? Like, why were they looking at me like that? And me and my friend were just talking about it, whatever. When we get out of the stall, they're no longer in there. But I walk out of the bathroom and she's up against the wall with her boyfriend at the time, which, mind you, he was a senior and she was a freshman, which that shit's just disgusting. So, ew. But two, they're standing up against the wall. She looks at me again. So, me and her are looking, and her boyfriend goes, what the fuck are you looking at? I said, what are you looking at? You're the one looking at me. And literally, I don't remember what happened. Like, I don't remember what led to this, but the fucking girl literally, I was a junior at the time. This boy was a senior, her boyfriend, and she was a freshman. She's literally, we're like not engaging. Like, me and my friend are like walking down the hallway. And as we're walking down the hallway, so he says, what are you looking at? I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? You're the one looking at me. But we kept walking. And she starts yelling at me and my friend down the hallway, but yelling at me because my friend wasn't doing any of the talking really. And she goes, fat bitch, like fucking starts like calling me all these names. By the way, I can say that word because I like girls too. So don't get it twisted. I'm not using a slur. Is that even a slur? I don't know, but I like girls and boys. And she called me that. And she's like yelling at me, calling me fat, all these things down the hallway, screaming this at me. And my friend was like yelling back at her too, like, because my friend also, she doesn't like, my mom doesn't play around with her kids. My best friend has always stood up for me. So if you're watching this, shout out to you, girl, because there's been so many instances where people have been shitty to me and she just comes right in and starts yelling at them. So shout out to you. But she was like yelling at him. And the craziest part about all of that is her boyfriend, who was a senior. Literally, like I said, I had to take the bus. Junior year, I had my license, so I had a car and I would drive to school. But freshman and sophomore year, I still had to take the bus, and he took the bus. He was on the bus. The year prior, my sophomore year of high school, tell me why he literally told me that he had a crush on me. And we didn't even talk. Like, we only talked on the bus. I'm like, you have a crush on me just from talking to me on the bus? Okay, I'm that girl, basically. But I should have said that. You know, when you're like arguing with someone or doing something, you always think about what you should have said, like afterwards, like, oh, I should have said that. I should have said so bad. Oh, that's why your boyfriend, like, she's calling me a fat bitch, all this stuff. Oh, that's why your boyfriend literally told me he had a crush on me last year before you. So, and that's why your man, and he's fucking like, why is he trying to talk to you? You're a freshman and he is a senior. Anyway, I didn't say any of that. I was just really mad, actually. I got into the classroom and I was so mad. I'm like, oh my God. And understandably why I was mad, because you heard all my other stories about people fat shaming me, and that's not even all of them. I have more. I have been called fat and ugly so many times in my life. But like I said, don't feel bad for me. I don't give a fuck. I literally am so secure and confident. I think I'm beautiful. I think I think so highly of myself. But high school me did not. High school me was very insecure, very sad. So this made her very sad. And I was sitting in the classroom. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so mad. Shout out to one of my other friends. I'm not friends with him anymore, but he was also in the preschool class. And I told him about it. And he like went to go find them in the school and like yell at them. Um, but he couldn't find them. And we had to go on the field trip. But yeah, that was crazy. Like, yelling that at me down the hall was crazy. And you're the one who gave me the dirty look. So I don't know, if you can't take the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. If you know what I mean. Like, don't give me a dirty look and sit there and expect me not to be like, why was she looking at me like that? Like, whatever. That girl's weird. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know what he's up to, but that was another crazy story. The last story I have right now, like I said, I will make a part two, is my car accident story, which I've been in a couple. I've been in one bad one. The other one I was in, I literally just tapped the back of somebody's car, like rear ended them, but like barely. Literally, my car, the only thing, the license plate was pushed in just a little bit, and their car had absolutely no damage. Like, it was the lightest tap ever. So I don't even really count that. I mean, I hit the car, so it does count, but this accident was bad. So I am my neighborhood, when you're at the entrance and exit of it, there's a stop sign and then there's like a main road. And so I was going to turn left to exit my neighborhood, and there was a line of cars behind me. This was around like 4 p.m. or something like that. So it was like rush hour. Like, people were coming home from work. People are just getting off of school. Like, the road was busy. And so I'm waiting and there's a line of people behind me. And you know that feeling when there's so many people behind you at like a stop sign or like at somewhere you feel like you just like need to go. So cars are coming. And there's a white truck coming, not like a semi, like a pickup truck coming, and it has its turn signal on to turn into my neighborhood. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go. But, and now I know this, and for all of you watching, wait to make sure that somebody is turning, okay? Don't just go. Wait till you actually see them start to turn until you go. But like I said, I was feeling pressure because there were so many people behind me that I was just like, okay, I see a turn signal, I'm going to go. He literally doesn't turn, which I think would happen because I do this all the time. Like when you're like going to go turn, you put your turn signal on and then you're like, actually, I'm not going to turn here. But I didn't wait, like I said, to make sure that he was actually turning. So I just went and I literally got smacked. Like I'm going and he's going, boom, literally T-bones me on my side, like hits the driver's side. My car like rolls into the grass, like it's like up a hill, like rolls over. And I just remember my first words were, what the fuck? Like I literally just said what the fuck out loud. And I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there for a minute. I like did not know what to do. And then um all I hear is some woman like knocking on my passenger door window. I was like, "Are you okay in there? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I couldn't get out though. Like all my airbags went off, by the way, and I couldn't open my past my driver's side door. That's how hard I got hit. Like it was literally like smashed closed. So I had to crawl to the passenger side to get out. And I just started bawling my eyes out. And the most embarrassing thing is this is like one of the main roads in my town that I live in. And so I'm like, I got at least like 4 text messages that were like, "Oh my God, is that you? Like, are you okay?" Like people were driving by and like saw me. They saw me standing there on the side of the road. Like, how embarrassing is that? And I just remember I texted my mom, like, "Mom, I just got in a car accident." She came and I, first of all, the guy who hit me was such a fucking asshole. He didn't even ask if I was okay, ask anything. I literally am like, "You had your turn signal on." And he's like, "No, I didn't." Like being such an asshole. And obviously it's like a grown man versus like a 16, 17-year-old girl. So they obviously, and since I had the stop sign to go out of my neighborhood and he was just going on the main road, I like pulled out in front of him. So it's technically my fault. But he literally had his turn signal on, but whatever, like insurance wise and stuff, it was my fault, which is fine. Um, but yeah, didn't even ask if I was okay, anything. The woman's like, "Are you okay?" talking to me. I'm like crying. And then an ambulance comes, and oh my God, just another level of embarrassment. Not only were people driving by and seeing me on the side of the road, the person that was in the ambulance taking my blood pressure and everything is someone that I used to date in like, we dated for like 3 years. It was like an elementary middle school relationship. So I don't really count it, but like we hung out and like, we didn't like date, you know what I mean? Like it was like middle school, like we'd hang out, we'd have like play dates and like do stuff, but like that, like it wasn't a serious relationship. And he was the one. So I'm 20 now. So this happened when I was like a junior in high school. I was like 17, like I said. He's the one taking my blood pressure. I'm sitting there sobbing in the ambulance, like, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you doing?" Like so awkward. And there was another lady in the ambulance like typing stuff in on her computer, and she's like asking me these questions. She's like, "What's your weight?" Why are you asking me my weight in front of this boy that I used to date? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, it was just all around so embarrassing. Not only did I have to say my weight in front of him, he had to see me fucking just get in a car accident. And I'm like crying, looking so ugly, taking my blood pressure. Like, oh my God, so embarrassing. But I was fine. Also, I do not condone this and I don't do this anymore. But I actually was on my way to go pick up edibles. And I literally remember texting my plug and I was like, "Sorry, can't come, just got in a car accident." And one of my friends actually, he was like, "Oh, damn." But one of my friends actually, shout out to him. You know who you are if you're watching this. He went and got them for me anyway. And we hung out after. And I took the edibles and we had a great time. And my back and my neck were sore for like days after. But the woman's like, "Do you want to go to the hospital, get checked out, all this stuff?" I'm like, "No, the hell, ambulance ride's so expensive, all this stuff. Like, I don't care about that." I was fine. I was going to suck it up. I was literally fine except my neck and my back a little bit from the airbag. But that was my car accident story. I got T-boned and now I have another car and it's all fine and dandy. But that was terrible. And like I said, I don't condone what I did or what I was going to pick up. But that is all of the stories that I had for today. I hope you enjoyed some of those and thought those were funny. Like I said, don't body shame. The piece of advice I actually have for this episode, because like you guys should know by now, I am going to give you guys a little piece of motivation or a quote or advice based on what the episode was about. And the quote I have written down, I will put on the screen. Okay. The quote is, treat people with kindness. We're all going through a lot. And that's just a blanket statement for everything. But I thought this was fitting for this episode because of all those horrible things people said to me. Like, obviously, you know, the golden rule. At least I always learned this in my elementary school. They always preach this, the golden rule, the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And that's literally just it. Like, period. That's what you need to do. So treat people with kindness. We're all going through a lot. Literally, me, when people would saying all those things to me, I was going through so much mentally and physically. Like I personally like was going to all these doctor's appointments, all this stuff, trying to figure out why I was gaining weight so fast, why I was doing all this. Like I was going through my own like personal and like friend struggles, all this stuff. And people are just ruthless and they just don't think before they speak or think before they act. So highly suggest you guys do. And don't be a rude person. Treat people with kindness. Be nice. That's all you have to do. And it's really easy to be nice. You know that? It's free. Just be nice to people. Don't body shame. Don't fat shame, skinny shame, shame people for their acne, like I already said earlier. Just be respectful. We're all going through a lot. You never know what you say to someone that would just push them off the edge. What if someone was already having the worst day ever and you tell them something terrible and then they go and, you know, do whatever? Like, and same with the opposite. A little kindness can go such a long way. Someone's having a shitty day and you say something nice to them, that could change their whole day around. And it's way more fulfilling to be nice to people than to just be rude for no reason. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and I hope you enjoyed all those crazy, crazy stories. Part 2 will be coming probably not soon, but eventually, because like I said, I have way more where those stories came from. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, a great week, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.